After talks between the farmer unions and the central government failed, the farmers have yet again given a call of Chalo Delhi. This time around, not only the Punjab farming unions but also the farmer unions from the state of Uttar Pradesh from the likes of Rakesh Tikat have also given a call to go ahead and join into this protest. And that is the reason why today the entire national capital has been fortified. Currently, I am reporting from the Ghazipur border where you can see in the visuals that the barricading that has been done by the Delhi police has definitely affected the traffic in a very, very bad way. This morning, since it is peak hours, you can see in the visuals that long and heavy traffic signals have affected this entire area because of the barricading that has been done. You can see that these big boulders, these containers that have been put up over here, these are going to act as a wall once farmers try to reach anywhere close to the national capital, because the instructions are clear that farmers should not be allowed to get inside the national capital, and that is something that the farmers are not ready to accept. At this point in time, you can see in the visuals as well that how security forces have been deployed on the ground over here to make sure that the entire security arrangements remains intact, and farmers, once they get close to these borders, these big trucks that you are seeing on your screens right now, these big trucks are going to act as a wall to prevent these farmers from entering the national capital or getting anywhere close to the parliament, which is their final plan of action. On the other hand, Vajravahans have also been deployed to control any sort of riot situation that might develop over here. So yes, the situation is at this point normal. Traffic snarls have become a reality, but on the other hand, we have seen that how the situation suddenly trembles out of hand once the farmers get over here, once the crowd gathers at the borders of the national capital. Not only this, but today is a very, very important day for students as well, because the CBSE board exams are also scheduled to happen today, and hence this traffic advisory has been issued by the Delhi police, in which they have said that if at all students have to travel in and out of the national capital to reach to their exam centers, they should make sure that they have extra time in their hand. Now what remains to be seen, that if at all the situation that we saw happening last time around, in which a lot of violence had broken out, will that continue this time around as well, or will the government and the administration be able to pacify the farmers and make sure that the protest is, if not called off, is at least postponed for a few more days, so that this reality that is about to become about the violence that might break out over here, that might get under control. Well, if you see, there is going to be a lot of implications if at all farmers are allowed to get close to the national capital and yet again surround the national capital according to their will, because last time around what happened at the Shambhu Tikri and Ghazipur border, that is something that was visible for everyone to see, where there were a lot of effect that the people on the ground had to face, especially the locals and the industries that are set up on the borders of the national capital. This time around as well, we have spoken to a lot of people, a lot of industrialists whose industries are at the borders, and how they are constantly appealing to the farmers to let their shops run, to let their industries run, because last time around what happened for at least a year, that was something that had definitely put them off the track, and then also came the pandemic, which also affected them in a very, very adverse way. So this time around as well, the appeal from the members of these societies is constant, that don't come close to the national capital, and don't make the borders, don't come and sit at the borders, because that is yet again going to amplify the situation, make the situation go from bad to worse from them. And that is the reason why we are seeing today that the Delhi police is making it absolutely abundantly clear for the farmers that they wouldn't be allowed to march inside the national capital, and hence it is up to them that if at all they want to get close to the UP borders as well. So yes, the next few hours are going to be very, very interesting, as it remains to be seen that how the government will actually make sure that the situation remains under control, and how they will make sure that the farmers are pacified in some way or the other, and the violence that we saw broke out at least a week ago, and the kind of traffic situation and the effect that the industries and the local people had to face, that does not happen this time around. It depends on the government as to how they can actually go ahead and resolve this entire problem at the earliest. So yes, I'll just ask my camera person Vikas Rawat to show you in the visuals that are right behind me as to how the traffic signals have yet again gone ahead and affected this area of Ghazipur. You can see in these visuals that as far as the camera can see, as far as the eyes can see, there are cars lined up one after the other. because as you rightly mentioned that this is the peak hour out here in the national capital, and people have to travel towards their office. Students have to go towards their school or to the examination centers, because as we have been talking about this since morning, that there are board exams, CBSE board exams that are supposed to take place today, and hence it is going to definitely affect the kids in a very, very adverse way, and also the people who are going towards their office in a very, very adverse way. The main reason behind these traffic snarls is the security arrangements that have been made out here on the ground. You can see these heavy barricading, several layers of barricading that have already been done. Barbed wires have been put atop this, and not only this, but also big containers have been put on the roads. A bottleneck has been created at this point. Vehicles are being allowed to move, but yes, once the input comes in that farmers have started their march towards the national capital, then all these barricades will be pulled up in front of the roads, which would eventually mean that there will be a grinding halt that would come to the traffic situation out here as well. So yes, an advisory has been issued by the Delhi Police and the Delhi Traffic Police, where they have said that people travelling in and out of the national capital today should have extra time on their hands, because traffic situation is not going to stay normal, it's not going to stay smooth. So yes, it remains to be seen how eventually things would pan out. But yes, at this point in time, whether vehicles are being allowed to move into the national capital, traffic snarls have definitely become a reality of the day as we speak. Well, the main cause of concern for the central government and for the Haryana government and Delhi Police as well is the situation as how it will develop at the Shambhu border, because remember that is the Punjab and Haryana border, and that is where the farmers that were travelling from Punjab towards the national capital, they have been stopped. What the farmers have told us, what sources within the farming community at the Shambhu border have told us, is that they are not going to stop. They are going to continue their march towards the national capital. On the other hand, the Haryana police had made some arrangements to make sure that these farmers are not allowed to cross into the national capital. These included concreting a wall right at the border. But yes, the farmers have found a way out for that. Heavy machineries have already been called in, which would eventually mean that farmers would start their march towards the national capital with those heavy machineries. These heavy machineries have been modified in such a manner that there will be zero to no effect that it might have of the tear gas shelling or the rubber bullets that are being fired by the security forces on the farmers. So yes, the farmers are also very, very adamant that they are going to continue their march towards the national capital, and today we are expecting that violence might yet again break out, and that is the reason why the Haryana DGP has written to Punjab DGP to make sure that the law and order situation remains under control. The amount of people that have been allowed to gather at the Shambhu border, that should be reduced, and not only that, but the heavy machineries that have been called in, that should also be taken back. Also, interestingly, the Haryana DGP has written to Punjab DGP to make sure that media personals also are stopped at least a kilometer away, because over the last 1 week, several media personals have been attacked at the Shambhu border as well. So yes, the security of media is also a concern for the security forces who have been deployed over there as well. So yes, it remains to be seen how will eventually things pan out. But today is going to be a very, very tough day for the security forces and also for the administrations to make sure that the law and order situation remains under control and remains peaceful.